Direct from Foxborough, Massachusetts, the gem of Norfolk County, and taped at the studios of Foxborough Cable Access. It's Foxborough Central. And here's your host, Bob Hickey.
And welcome to another great episode of Foxborough Central. My name is Bob Hickey, and thank you for taking a little bit of time to join me and my guest as we talk about the people, events, and organizations that make Foxborough the gem of Norfolk County. I am joined today by my new old friend.
I guess that works, so.
Pastor Derek, how are you doing today, sir?
Good to see you, Bob.
And of course, you are with the Bethany Church.
I have been since February,
yes.
So coming up on 4.5 months now.
You know, I was just commenting before the program started, the time flies. It seems like only yesterday we had you on here, introducing you to the community and welcoming you to town. And you were talking about some really cool things that were going on at the Bethany, some ideas you had?
I was. Actually, last time I was on the show, which was about 3 months ago, you were one of the first people in town to be able to invite me to the Foxborough community, which was wonderful. And at that time, one of the visions that I had for Bethany was to do a program called Feeding the 5,000, which was a challenge to the church to provide 5,000 meals. And we were tracking that.
Wait for the drum roll.
So
where are we 4 months into the Feeding 5,000?
So June 22nd, we hit 5,078, and you had graciously made the invitation that when we hit 5,000, to come back on your show. So,
well, congratulations and welcome back then.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Excellent. So Feeding 5,000, that was a significant number, and when we talked in February, the numbers seemed pretty large, but you've already hit it at 4,000. So just tell me a little bit about what's been going on with the project. And by the way, some other things we want to talk about here, and we're going to sprinkle in. This is going to be a cool program, folks. So do sit back, do stay with us. They're also doing some pretty sharp new services for the summer, and one of them is a jazz ensemble.
Jazz Vesper Service.
Jazz Vesper Service. And we are going to be blessed to have a couple snippets, if you will, of a previously recorded jazz ensemble for the Vesper Service. And so we're going to be sharing some of that with you with today's program as we talk about other things. So it's going to be a cool show. Feeding 5,000.
So the Feeding 5,000 comes out of Jesus's, feeding of the 5,000 was the disciples. And so we decided that we would make it a challenge for Bethany to be able to provide 5,000 meals before December 31st. And originally I thought, well, we'll probably hit this by October. That was kind of, December 31st was a long-term goal. So I was very, very surprised when my church administrator said on June 22nd, we have hit 5,000. We are actually past 5,000. We've done it a couple ways. The way that the program has worked is, as members of the church, there are little cards that they have, and every time they donate food or if they volunteer with an organization such as Lynn Ministries or North Attleboro Council of Churches with the soup kitchens and feeding programs that there are, we write down the number of meals that we have provided, and it goes into a tally. And that's how we've been able to keep track of it. So now we hit the 5,000, and we said, well, now we have to see where we go from here. So we've added 10,000 and 15,000 to our little fish thermometer that we have to be able to see where we'll end up by December 31st. But we're very excited.
It's a heady undertaking, but congratulations to the congregation for stepping up and meeting the challenge. And it's obviously a very good cause. And so congratulations to the Bethany for being that piece of the fabric.
No, we're excited about it. And actually, for anybody in Foxborough, the first Saturday of the month, we do a community dinner, and that has been a large part of the success of getting to that number of 5,000. We generally do about 60 meals at those community dinners. So anyone from the community that's looking for a meal can come out on that Saturday and have a meal at Bethany. So.
And this is on which Saturday of the month?
It's the first Saturday of the month. So a lot of folks I know from the senior center come over. They just like the fellowship of having a dinner together. Mm-hmm. We welcome all to Bethany.
Very good. Well, then they can look that up, of course, by contacting you. And all your information is available at bethanychurch.org for folks who want to look it up online. Yeah. And while they are thinking about logging on to bethanychurch.org and finding out about the community dinners, why don't we take a moment now to watch the first snippet of a offering from the Jazz Vesper Service. So let's enjoy this. So that was pretty sharp. And maybe what we'll do is talk a little bit now about what is the Jazz Vesper service.
So the Jazz Vesper service, Greg Woodsby is our director of music over at Bethany Church, a Foxborough graduate, very, very talented. I say young man, he's a little bit younger than me, but phenomenal musician. Has blown me away. A couple Sundays ago, I was actually watching him, and he was playing the piano, this really complicated piece of music, and I heard percussion, and I said, Greg, where is our percussionist? Turns out that he was sitting on a box that he uses for percussion with microphones in it. He played the entire thing with his left hand. He did percussion with his right hand beating on the box, and directed the choir and was singing at the same time. And I said, Greg, that's just over the top. So we are very blessed to have an incredible talented musician, and he has put together this Jazz Vesper service for us, making the service an experience for people. The idea is to use poetry and to use art and to use jazz music, which is, from what I understand and from what I've experienced here in Foxborough, jazz program here in town is just a huge thing. So,
well, if that's and I understand you play a little yourself. You play the piano?
I do. I play a little bit of piano, jazz piano, play a little bit of guitar, and even saxophone. So, but I'm not sure if I'm quite at the par of the musicians that you just saw.
Well, we have the great Maestro Massey, who leads our high school students and gives them all the tools necessary to succeed. We've been blessed to enjoy their music for many years, and those of us in the Foxborough Cable Access community get to see it all the time because their concerts and their performances, and they've gone down to the Jazz Fest in New York and done very well, and we get to enjoy their tapes here on Cable Access. So speaking of music on Cable Access, maybe now would be a good time to listen to another selection from the Jazz Vesper service.
Sounds great.
All right, let's do it.
Breathe on me, breath of God, till I am wholly thine, until this earthly part of me glows with thy fire divine. On the breath of God, so that won't come to me, but live with thee the perfect life of my eternity.
And welcome back. So, with all this music, let's not lose sight of some of the other exciting things that are going on at the Bethany. But first, before we do that, when is the Jazz Vesper service? So some people are getting stoked by the good music they're seeing and want to see more, hear more, do more.
Yeah.
How would they get involved?
So the Jazz Vesper service is actually officially beginning in September. We've done a couple programs of the Jazz Vesper service so far. The idea was, when Greg came up with the vision of doing this new service, was to do it as kind of a sampler program or a teaser, just to get folks in the community interested in it. Kind of like when you do a pilot, you know, you work through it and get all the kinks out of it, and so that's what he's been doing. But come September, it will be on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock at the church, and we're very, very excited about it. So you can go to bethanychurch.org for the website to be able to see the official times of the Jazz Vesper service that we're doing, or you can call the church office at 508-543-5678.
5678. There you go. I'm going to write that down. 5678. You can write it down too for you at home. The Tuesday night service is the Jazz Festivals, but I understand there's also something special going on this summer, and maybe you want to share that with us.
Yeah, actually, Bethany in the past historically has done one service in the summer. A lot of churches in New England kind of go to a summer service format. People like to travel, they like to go to the beach, and so generally attendance, it's something that I've noticed here in New England. I grew up in New England, I've known about it, but in the Midwest they don't do it that way, and other parts. But so this year, Bethany, we looked at it and we said we're actually going to do two services in the summer. So we've gone to an 8:30 traditional service for folks that want to get up early and make their trip down to the Cape on a Sunday afternoon, or just looking for that day trip in the summer. So the service goes from 8:30 to about 9:15, and that's the traditional service that follows our pretty standard format that we have for congregational churches. And then at 9:45 is our new second service, which we call Wings. It's worshiping in the name of God's Son. And it's a wonderful, wonderful service. Lots of music in it. Some mixing of the contemporary music that we have, contemporary feel to it, but still has traditional elements in it that folks are looking for. And that came out of a survey that we created for the church, asking folks, you know, as we go into the summer months, what are you really looking for in your worship experience? And so we got great feedback, and that's kind of what gave birth to this new second service during the summer, Wings, at 9:45 a.m. Still early enough to be able to get it to the beach on a Sunday afternoon if you want to.
Well, you know, it's telling of a very strong congregation and very forward-thinking if you're looking to mesh church life in with real-world life, and that's very nice of you to do for the membership, I'm sure, because it is New England and there are a lot of beautiful beaches to go to. Speaking of summer fun and doing things, I understand that the Bethany Church has a softball team.
We do. We have the Bethany Bombers. We play on Monday night in a church league.
Don't gloss over. Let's say the Bethany Bombers. What a great name.
Bethany Bombers.
Bethany
yeah.
Bombers.
Yeah.
Is this 12-year-old players, 50-year-old players? What's the league made of?
I won't out who the oldest player is, but probably I think the youngest player is 17, and we have players that obviously are retired from their jobs, but I won't give away their age. But great group of men's fellowship that goes on was that softball league, and this year they're having a phenomenal year. One of the games that we won last week, 28-5, and just incredible team. I've only got to play with them a couple times this year.
I was going to ask you, a participant?
I am. I play every once in a while, but I think I shared maybe last time I was on the show, I'm still overcoming an accident. It was a broken arm a year and a half ago, so haven't quite mastered getting back into the swinging of the bat, but have had a great time out there playing with the gentlemen. And the nice thing about it is we start every game with prayer, and we end every game with prayer. And it really is good sportsmanship. So we've had a lot of fun. We travel all around the South Shore to different fields to be able to play.
Wow, I've heard of the league, and I know it's a large league because you do go around. There's teams in North Attleboro, and I'm glad to hear that the Bethany Bombers are doing well.
Yeah, so we hope this year to take home the trophy for first place. So.
Okay. Well, I'm an old church league softball player myself from my youth, so I would love to talk more about that, but there's probably nothing for me to contribute because I'm definitely not an athlete, and I definitely don't play church league softball.
Maybe we can get you to commentate the games or something.
we have some great commentators. Brady Gardner is a wonderful commentator for us, and maybe we can convince him to go out there and do that.
That would be wonderful. So
we'll do a skills program later on someday. So with the Bethany Church having all this activity going on, the nuts and bolts are the services. And so we've already talked about the services for the summer are going to be at 8:30 in the morning.
8:30 is the traditional service. 9:45 is the wing service, worshiping in the name of God's Son.
And then the Jazz Vesper service is on Tuesdays at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. and they officially begin in September because we're in the summer months format right now. So we've had several Jazz Vesper services so far, and September will be when we kind of go back to our traditional format. Actually, September 14th is our Rally Sunday, where we come back from summer and go back to kind of more of the normal church life.
Get back into the regular routine.
After Labor Day is kind of when we switch gears from summer mode back to academic year mode.
Well, I love the energy, and what I also love is music. So we're here to listen to a little Jazz Vesper service, and let's listen to our final selection, shall we?
Sounds great.
Excellent.
I cannot dance, Lord, unless you lead me. If you want me to leap with the bandit, you must intone the song. Then I shall leap into love, from love into knowledge, from knowledge into enjoyment, and from enjoyment beyond all human sensation.
And welcome back. So, speaking of energy, I love the energy. It seems like you've brought a lot to the congregation of the Bethany, and they're a strong organization before you got there.
Yeah.
It seems like you've brought a lot to them. So, let's just talk 2 minutes about how you're enjoying your time here in Foxborough.
You know, I am absolutely loving it.
Family and everybody's happy?
Family and everybody's happy. We are so excited to be in the town. When I came, I didn't know a lot about the community. I think I shared other than Gillette Stadium was Patriots over there. But now I'm learning the wonderful, wonderful sense of community here. And it's just an incredible town to be able to raise children and family. And the schools here are phenomenal, music programs. Even as I go around town and meet business owners and folks that work over at the town hall and just the residents, it's just an amazing tapestry of community with so many gifted people in it.
Well, your kids will certainly get to enjoy growing up into the school system with the music offerings. And you are a musician yourself. We had touched on a little bit earlier, but you play a little jazz piano and a little guitar?
I play a little jazz piano, a little guitar, a little saxophone, and sing. Actually, in college, I was part of a 120-piece gospel choir. That was a student-led organization that I was one of the pioneer founders of. So music is something I love. I was also a music minor in college, but singing classes were at 8 a.m., and I didn't do so well on those.
Well, as my volunteers here at Foxborough Cable Access will attest to, sometimes you just got to get up early to make some good things happen.
That's right. So.
With the 4 months that you spent here, you just got to ask, what do you see happening once you get back into the regular routine? So many cool things are happening, and I don't want you to tip your hand and let everything out.
I'll share just this past weekend, our leadership of the church and our church staff, we did a wonderful retreat over at St. Augustine's Chapel over in the State Forest here in Foxborough.
On Mill Street, sure.
We did a 2-day retreat there, and we've actually developed a vision plan for the church. That's a long-term vision plan that we'll be introducing to the congregation, but some good things have come out of that. One of the things that we've looked at is we said we have a lot of programs at Bethany, which we're really excited about. And now the goal and focus of us is to create a progress, a way of being able to process all those programs so that they have direction. So people that come to Bethany, it's simple to understand what is the benefit of all these programs. And really what we want to do is make discipleship a simple process for people to be able to get involved and connect at Bethany and be part of the ministry at Bethany. That's a core value that we have. We do ministry together at Bethany, and so everyone shares their talents and gifts together. And now we want to make that process as simple as possible for folks that want to be part of the Bethany community.
Very nicely said. Pastor Derek, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me. I cannot believe it, but we're already out of time.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on again. I appreciate it. So, and blessings to you, Bob.
Well, thank you. And for those of you who have your pencil out now, and I hope you do, you can always check out the Bethany Church at bethanychurch.org. Contact the church at 508-543-5678, or show up at service on any given Sunday at 8:30 in the morning or at 9:45.
8:30 or 9:45.
45.
And people are always welcome to drop by my office too. I love to grab a cup of coffee with anybody. So.
Well, I love a cup of coffee anytime also. And then, as you've seen with the wonderful music offerings we've had, they have a phenomenal jazz vesper service on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. So hopefully you'll make one of these a stop on your weekly journey in life. For those of you who might have missed it, you can always check us out at www.fcatv.org. Click on the Foxborough Central link and you'll see any of our wonderful programs. If you have a suggestion or would like to see you or a organization you're part of featured on a future episode of Foxborough Central, please write to me at foxcentral@fcatv.org, or you can call us here at Foxborough Central at 508-543-4757. My name is Bob Hickey. I've been your host, thanking you and my volunteers for taking the time to talk a little jazz.
Thanks so much, Bob.
Take care, Foxborough.